Armoured amphibious assault vehicles are not new capabilities, but they have evolved. More than just being able to traverse rivers and lakes, these vehicles can swim ashore from ships at sea at some distance, and the quicker the vehicles can make the crossing, the more likely they are to survive and complete the mission. If there is an invasion of an island, the first heavy units of the PLA to land will be the PLA Ground Forces Amphibious Combined Arms Battalions, or the heavier elements of the PLA Navy Marines, utilising their armoured amphibious assault vehicles, currently the ZBD-05 family of AFVs. With the assault guns armed with a 105mm gun and the infantry fighting vehicles carrying infantry and armed with a 30mm gun and anti-tank guided missiles, these vehicles have high water speeds. Now, the PLA has a long history of employing the 105mm gun for fire support as amphibious assault guns on both tracked and wheeled vehicles in both ground force and marine battalions. And importantly, these can fire while the vehicles are swimming ashore. These vehicles are essential components of China's amphibious capabilities, designed to facilitate rapid beach landings and support the initial stages of an assault. G'day and salutations. Today's briefing, the PLA's new amphibious assault vehicles. What's new about them? This briefing will examine the differences seen on the PLA's new amphibious assault vehicles, images of which appeared around a month ago, compared with existing vehicles with similar roles. In service with the PLA Navy's Marines and Ground Force Amphibious Combined Arms Brigades since around 2006, the ZTD-05 assault gun offers good mobility and firepower. Armed with a 105mm rifle gun capable of firing armour-piercing, fin-stabilised discarding sabot rounds effectively out to 2,000 metres, high explosive to 4,000 metres, and 105mm anti-tank guided missiles up to 5,000 metres, the ZTD-08 weighs around 28 tonnes. It has a crew of 4, commander, driver, gunner and loader, and a total of around 40 105mm rounds and anti-tank guided missiles. Its primary mission is to support amphibious landings by providing direct fire support against enemy fortifications and armoured vehicles. The ZTD-05 has the ability to fire its main gun and anti-tank guided missiles while still in the water, enabling it to engage shore-based targets before reaching land. One of the key features of the ZTD-05 is its exceptional amphibious capability. This is achieved by 2 large water jets mounted at the rear of the hull, a retractable adaptive trim vane, and a transom flap. These allow the ZTD to travel at speeds of around 28 km per hour on water, with some sources claiming as high as 45 km per hour, meaning it can cross a given distance quicker than other comparable amphibious armoured vehicles. Now, when doing armoured fighting vehicle recognition, we look for the most obvious or easily recognisable features so we can more quickly identify the target. These include road wheels and possibly the return rollers, the turret, and the barrel. The new ZTD retains the overall layout of its predecessor, but there are some notable changes. The position of the 5th road wheel has moved slightly back and the return rollers have also changed. The turret has a different shape, including a more pronounced bustle, which could indicate an autoloader. There is also what looks like a commander's panoramic sight. If it is, that means the commander is on the right side and therefore the vehicle almost certainly has an autoloader. On the current ZTD-05, the commander sits on the left behind the gunner, with the manual loader sitting on the right. Finally, the barrel is different to the 105 guns on the PLA's other vehicles, notably a lack of bore evacuator or fume extractor. This new 105mm gun might be a lightweight version of existing guns. Now, some of these changes seem logical, while others are a little perplexing when we look at other contemporary PLA assault guns. A companion armoured fighting vehicle to the ZTD-05 is the wheeled ZTL-11 assault gun, in service with the PLA Ground Force Medium Combined Arms Brigades and the PLA Navy Marine Battalions since around 2008. In a similar manner to the changes made to the new ZTD from its predecessor, the new ZTL assault gun has significant changes over its predecessor, in particular its turret and gun. The turret has a significantly expanded bustle that extends to the rear of the hull. However, it does retain the fume extractor found on the ZTQ-15 light tank. The ZTQ-15 precedes the new ZTD and ZTL, entering service around 2018, and is armed with a 105mm gun, which can also fire anti-tank guided missiles. As mentioned, the ZTQ-15's gun is fitted with a fume extractor and is served by an autoloader. Clearly, having an autoloader reduces crew size and potentially improves survivability with the ready rounds stored in the bustle. In the ZTQ-15, the gunner remains on the left with the commander moving to the right side. This appears to be the arrangement on the new ZTD. Now, it's not unheard of for a main gun to not have a fume extractor. The French Leclerc main battle tank is an example of a large gun with no fume extractor, instead utilising compartment overpressure for barrel fume extraction. The absence of a fume extractor might make the gun barrel lighter and cheaper to produce. The primary infantry fighting vehicle in the amphibious units is the ZBD-05, in service since around 2006. Based on the same hull as the ZTD-05, it is armed with a 30mm gun and 2 HJ-73 anti-tank guided missiles, fitted externally. Carries a full dismount sectional squad and has a water speed of around 28 km/h. This is to be augmented by a new version. The new amphibious IFV utilises the same hull as the assault gun version. The turret on this ZBD is very different to its predecessor, likely remote controlled and with no anti-tank guided missile launchers apparent. However, it is likely armed with a 30mm gun. But this remote turret is very different to that found on the new wheeled ZBL infantry fighting vehicle, appearing much smaller in size and lighter. The new ZBL infantry fighting vehicle, a companion of the new ZTL assault gun shown earlier and first seen around 2023, is fitted with a remote turret armed with a 30mm gun and a retractable launcher for 4 anti-tank guided missiles. The remote control turret is the most obvious and significant change to the current ZBL-08 infantry fighting vehicle, which has the same turret as the amphibious ZBD-05 infantry fighting vehicle shown earlier. So what we see is the same move to a remote turret on both of the PLA's new tracked and wheeled IFVs, albeit a lighter version on the new ZBD infantry fighting vehicle. In summary, as with the ships and aircraft, PLA continues to improve its armoured fighting vehicles, even if only halfway through service life. These changes, made to the new amphibious assault vehicles, mirror those found on the PLA's new wheeled armoured combat vehicles, i.e. a likely change to autoloader on their assault gun versions and remote turrets on the IFV versions, but with reduced weight turrets compared to their predecessors. The new vehicles may have improved speed and overall mobility at sea, but likely will have improved fire control and self-defence systems, and with reduced crewing requirements. But requiring less crew is unlikely a driving consideration for the PLA. Recruitment is not an issue for them. They have more than enough volunteers. If these new vehicles are to be replaced in the existing vehicles on an almost one-to-one basis, we should expect to see the older vehicles transferred to reserve units, an area where the PLA is placing more emphasis on improving actual capability for wartime scenarios. Note, we've also seen images of an anti-tank guided missile carrying variant, and most likely other variants including APC and reconnaissance, amongst others, are being developed. That concludes today's briefing. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share, and don't forget to click the notification button so you don't miss the next briefing. You never know what it will be about. Happy to take suggestions for future briefings from members. Until next time, Vale de Cero.